You're right everyone, it's Sam here. Welcome to a brand new series on my channel. Yeah, we're going to be playing MotoGP 14. And let's get into this then.
Before hitting the track, you'll need to create your personal profile.
And yeah, just start off with the basic personal information. I was just going to skip over this, and yeah, I filled it in normally, just with my name and age and stuff. And I decided to go number 27 for this, just it was the best number on there I thought. So yeah, let's just go ahead and start this then. Looking forward to getting started with this game. I mean, I played the 13 version of course, so I was looking forward to the follow-up to that game. And yeah, here we are then at the start of the career, the menu screen that is. There's a nice intro, but I skipped over it because it's actually owned by Dorna and not actually Milestone, so I wouldn't have been able to use it in the video. But yeah, here's our team then. We're going to be doing wildcard appearances to start off with, and here we are in the Team Italia team. And I quite like this team actually, because one of my favourite Moto3 rider, Romano Fenati, he actually started off in this team, so yeah, I quite like it. Let's go to the race then, and it's at Brno for this first one in the Czech Republic, which is normally around halfway through the season. And yeah, we're going through the settings now, and decided to do 25% races with qualifying. The AO difficulty we're going to have on realistic, because that's what I played on the 13 game. Same with bike damage and tyre wear. Technical problems, I didn't really want to have them on this first one. I mean, I might put it on afterwards, but I remember on 13, I remember like when I had technical problems on it, just seemed to ruin the game a bit, and at this early stage there's already not that many bikes, so I didn't want like races where hardly anyone's finishing. But yeah, I decided to go with Pro Physics first, just like I did before. I decided to give myself one rewind to start off with, and yeah, I turned off pretty much all assists except for tuck-in and the transmission, just because I never really got the hang of those on 13, so decided to leave them on automatic this time as well. But yeah, we're pretty much ready to go then with this, and these are pretty much the settings I had on MotoGP 13 anyway, so I was just going to see how well I'd go with that. But we're going to go to the race now. Not race.
The fabulous Brno circuit. The engines are starting to rumble and the riders are getting ready, because qualifying starts in a few moments' time. Despite the clouds building up overhead, conditions on the track are still good and the session should stay dry.
Yeah, so qualifying, not the race there, sorry. Just a little bit of voiceover there from Gavin Emmett, who's of course on BT Sport. But here we are then. This is at the beginning of the qualifying. You get a nice 40-minute qualifying session in Moto3, so it gives you a nice bit of time to get a feel for the bike, as well as like ultimately setting your best time. But yeah, you can see there we're only just getting up to speed really, as Miller's already gone flying past us. And yeah, the handling, I don't think it's too much different. I mean, they have obviously tweaked it a bit, and yeah, it's in through here. I thought at first it looked a little bit slidey just from the animations, but honestly it isn't like that bad. But one thing I was finding that in like some of the slower corners, it did seem to be like maybe steering a little bit too much, but like in these faster corners I really just felt like the bike was drifting way too out wide, like here. And already we're going to see what this new penalty timer thing does. And yeah, that's going to add 0.8 of a second onto my qualifying lap, so or this lap anyway, so yeah, that's a bit annoying. But here we are then, completing the first lap on this game, and well, it's well off the pace as you might expect, as it's our first go on this. But getting a bit later into the session, I think here we're going to see as I just pushed a bit too hard and lost the front end, and that was my first crash then on this game. And yeah, I was kind of hoping that in this game they might have like an animation where you like run back to the bike, but no, it's still quite arcadey in terms of like respawning you like back onto the track. But yeah, a few laps later in the session, I should say, I do get up to speed a little bit more and actually go 13th for that time, then only 2.6 seconds off the pace, so that's alright there. But yeah, I wasn't particularly happy with the bike. Like I said, I was having a bit of understeer in the faster corners, and yeah, it sort of shows off the sort of the race engineer thing that you can do on this game. It's pretty cool. It was in the 13 version of the game as well, where like you can just like tell your engineer what's wrong, and then he'll suggest a setup change for you, and there you go, get your setup there, and you go unlocked an achievement there. So yeah, that's that. Went back out onto the track for one final run with this then, and you can see a decent first sector there, only 7/10 off the pace, that's alright. And we're going to later on in the lap, and it's still looking pretty good. It was only 2.7 down, and I was finding time in the 4th sector in all of these laps, so it was looking like quite a good one here as we come towards the end of it. Coming out of the final corner then, and tucking myself right into trying to get myself the best, as little understeer as possible coming out of the corner, and look at that, we're 9th place. That's very good for us then in this first qualifying. And it was a little bit more time in the session for me to do another lap here, but as you can see, I'm not looking too good. I already had a penalty, and then I lose the front end going into that corner. And yeah, that was it, pretty much it for this qualifying, but we're doing a nice bit of wheelie in here at the end of the session, because a pretty good result for our first go. Of course, we're only a wildcard member, so yeah, here we go then, 9th on the grid. That is very good for us. It's Jack Miller on pole from Romano Fenati and Jakob Kornfeil. But yeah, you can see they were 9th, and with the second best Mahindra, so that's very good for us. Only Miguel Oliveira beat us. He's on the main Mahindra team, so that's very good for us there. We beat our Arthur Sis, I think, is the other one in the main team. But yeah, you can see there we're ahead of likes of Brad Binder, another very good rider, Alessandro Tanucci, and our two teammates there, Locatelli and Ferrari, and also Schutten and Danilo. But you can see there all these guys on the Kalex KTMs and Hondas that aren't actually in the game yet, which is a little bit annoying. That's the only downside of the game coming out quite early in the year, really.
Welcoming viewers to Brno. We're here for the 11th round of the MotoGP World Championship to bring you live coverage of the Moto3 class at the Czech Republic Grand Prix. The sky has been cloudy for a few hours now, but having checked the forecast, race direction have decided to declare a dry race.
So yeah, there's another bit of like voiceover there. But here we are then for the greatest: Miller, Fenati, Kornfeil, Vinales, Kent, Antonelli, Bagnaia, Oliveira, then me, Granado, Binder, Io, Haneke, Bastianini, Tanucci, Sis, Locatelli, Ferrari, and then Shilton, Danilo, and Asmi to round out this only 21-man field. As I was saying, it's a bit annoying that not all the riders are in it yet, but hopefully there'll be a DLC soon, and we'll have full grid for this. But we've got the lights coming on, and we are away for our first wildcard appearance in Moto3, and let's see how quick this Mahindra is off the line. It seems to be alright, but heading into turn 1 you can see Eric Granado coming on our outside into turn 1, and we're down to 10th already. Our target position though is only 15th, I think we saw that at the beginning of this video. But yeah, we've run a little bit wide there. I was still struggling with understeer on the bike as we head out of these first few corners, and I'm losing quite a few places here to the likes of Tanucci and Bastianini. But we're in 15th place, we're still in the points position here. So it's been an alright start for us, I guess. As you can see there on the bottom left, the feature in MotoGP 13, where it sort of keeps you up to date with other riders and what they're doing. You can see there we're going wheel to wheel with Bastianini towards the end of this first sector, and we really have to be careful in those kind of situations, because like I remember in MotoGP 13, like if you got your rear tyre like underneath another guy's like front tyre, then it was almost a certain crash. But luckily we got away with it so far here, and we're up in 14th place at the moment, behind I think that's Haneke and Tanucci ahead of us here. I might be Binder, yes, Binder, never mind, screen's a bit blurry there, but it's been a pretty good start here. And then of course I'm just trying to be careful on his first lap, because of course we got that penalty timer which is new for the 14 games, so of course that's gonna, if we like run wide at all and accumulate any kind of penalty time, then it will add up at the end and could cost us some places. So we don't want to be we do want to be careful in these early stages, and of course just don't run wide and don't take any unnecessary risks, because of course it's only a wildcard performance, so we shouldn't be expecting like an amazing result. So if we can just get like the P15 result, impress a few teams, then that's all we can really do really in these wildcard appearances. And I mean that's just how it is in real MotoGP, of course. And that's one thing that I did think this game, which would have been a little bit better, is if the wildcard appearances were sort of based on like what nationality you set for yourself, like, because for this it's going to be Brno for this one, and then Valencia, which is of course one of the Spanish rounds. So but I think it would have been cool if, like, say, well, I've set myself of course on here to be British, so I think it would have been cool if like one of the wildcard appearances would have been in like Silverstone, because I think that's really more realistic how it is. Like when you see these wildcard riders making their appearances, it tends to be at their home race that they sort of like get the funds to take part in. And of course it's the one where they because of course it's the one where they really have the experience of, like, because they of course race in like their national championships really, and of course they would have the experience. Like if it was me, then I'd have the experience at tracks like Silverstone, or maybe like, I don't know, Donington or something. But yeah, I think that would have been pretty cool if it had been like that. But I think just to make it a little bit more simple, I think would have been a little bit more complicated if they'd have done it that way. So I guess it was just a little bit more simple to just leave it to these two tracks, Brno and Valencia. And I'm sorry if you can hear a really loud bird in the background at the minute. I forgot to shut my window before I started recording this, so yeah, sorry about that. We're on the second lap now. We're still in 15th place. We seem to have made a decent gap behind us here to the other guys on the Mahindras behind us. Of course, we've got our two teammates, Matteo Ferrari and Andrea Locatelli, behind us. And I'm going to go and shut my window. Real professional stuff here in this video for me, I know, as we're heading up the hill to almost complete this second lap. And yeah, you can see there we're 7 tenths behind Bastianini, and we're almost a second ahead of Arthur Sisters, who's, as I said before, he's on a Mahindra. So, and of course he's quite an experienced rider. He's been in this since the beginning of 2012, I think. So pretty cool to be beating him in our first race here as we're coming across the line. You can see that the top 10 is always shown at the beginning of each lap, which is pretty cool. Kind of keeps you updated on what's going on, as well as the overtaking thing. You can see there quite a battle at the front between Fenati and Miller, which is kind of the story of the real Moto3 season so far. It's been a very good battle between the two of them, actually. It's been a bit of controversy as well, actually. If you saw the Argentina race, you'll remember there was a bit of contact between them, and it resulted in Fenati winning the race, and I don't think Miller was too happy about it. But yeah, it's certainly been a very, very good battle between the two of them. I mean, as I said before, my favourite rider in this class is Fenati, so I'm hoping that he can win the championship this year, because he's been a little bit let down, I think, by the Honda in the past. So I'm hoping that now he's on the KTM, and now that of course he has sort of the backing of the Sky team, that's of course run by Valentino Rossi, that he can actually win the Moto3 championship this year. But I think he'll certainly be looking to go up into Moto2 next season. I think there's a few guys like him, Miller and Rins, and maybe even Alex Marquez, who will probably be looking at Moto2 next season. So that will be very interesting to watch, see how how they do in the upper ranks, because of course the guys who came up from Moto2 up to Moto2 from Moto3 last year, like Salom, Vinales and Folger, they're doing very well at the moment in Moto2. So it'll be interesting to see if the guys who go up next season will be just as good. And we can see here that we're still in 15th place here, kind of where we need to be in this race. But you can see that the guys behind us have closed in a bit. I think it's still Sis behind us as we're heading into these final couple of corners. Not sure why it didn't show the gap there, because they are still pretty close behind me. And yeah, heading out this final corner then to begin the fourth lap out of 5. These do go by kind of quickly, I guess. I mean, because of course the race distances in MotoGP are a lot less than, of course, in F1. I mean, it's about half the length really. I mean, I think the average race is around about 40-45 minutes in MotoGP, whereas of course it's around about an hour and a half in F1. So of course it's a lot less, but of course in this it's more like a sprint really, with like no pit stops or anything. But of course you do have to kind of be careful that you're not taking too much out of the tyres. Although in Moto3, like, you don't have like a load of wheel spin and stuff, so I guess like in these like short 5-lap races you don't have to worry too much about tyre wear. Although you can see there on the graphic that we have taken a little bit out of these. It's a nice little graphic that they've added in as well for this season that shows the tyre temperatures as well, so that's pretty cool. It sort of wasn't really a part of MotoGP 13, so yeah, it's good to see they've sort of made some advances with that. One thing that I haven't really seen them do anything with in either game so far is the fuel, which is a bit odd. They haven't really like incorporated like fuel management, well not management, but like, you know, like fuel simulation or anything into the game at all. Like you can't like select how much fuel you want to go out with in qualifying or something, and like you don't feel the effects of fuel wearing off like during the race. So, and like, well, sort of as I mentioned before, like the fuel management, like you can't manage it like to make sure that you are going to get into the end or anything. So that is a bit odd that they haven't really put that into either game. I mean, like, so when you think of racing games now, you think that kind of thing would probably be in there, but I guess not in this one. I mean, it is kind of something less to worry about, I guess. So never mind. But yeah, that was said, bit odd not to see it in there. But yeah, going into the penultimate corner, giving it a bit of the doctor's dangle there on the brakes into the penultimate corner. But we're still just about holding on to this position. I mean, they're gradually closing in on us, those guys behind, and it's going to be a bit of a tense last lap here. See if we can hold on to this position. I can't see it was behind us, but we do seem to have a decent lead over them at this stage as we're heading through this long turn one, just trying to like get through the corner there. You can see I do use the even though I have the tucking on automatic, I tend to like manually do it sometimes in the exit corners just to make sure I get the bike round the corner really. And of course it's a bit more risky to do that on the more powerful Moto2 and MotoGP bikes because it does make the rear tyres spin a lot as you like exit the corners, and that can result in high sides and stuff like that. But you can see here now these two guys are really starting to line us up here. You can see the arrows there, which is sort of something, well, that wasn't in MotoGP 13 earlier before, so that's something they've added in. They're sort of taking inspiration from the F1 games there, I guess, although I think a lot of other racing games kind of really have that in there. So yeah, they've sort of gone with that, and it does sort of help the experience, I guess, because while in MotoGP 13 the AI were very aggressive at times, particularly in MotoGP and Moto2, like in the early parts of races, it wouldn't be a surprise to see someone chuck up your inside or something and just knock you completely off. So you do at least have some warning on this. I mean, I haven't really done much Moto2 or MotoGP yet, but so I don't know if they've really calmed the AI down yet in that sense. But it's good to see that, like, you know, they're doing something about that, like with the arrows, to make sure that you don't, like, yeah, get hit off at every race start or something. But you can see there the leaders are already starting to cross the line here as we head into the final two corners. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty good finish for us here in our first race as a wildcard rider in Moto3, to be coming across the line here to complete the race. And it is going to be 15th place and 1 point, but as we're a wildcard, we don't actually score points in this, so never mind. But you know, it's still a points finish, and it was the target. And of course we beat our team leader Matteo Ferrari, so that's pretty good. We've unlocked a couple of achievements here, I think. Yeah, we beat our teammate there, so that was what that was for. And look at that, dead heat between Jack Mir and Romano Finati for first place, and then it was the two Calvo bikes of Cornfile and Vinales, then Antonelli and Bagnaia also on KTMs. Oliveira was the first Mahindra, and then it was Danny Kent on the Husqvarna. But hey, you can see in 15th place, ahead of a few of the other Mahindras, was us, and that is a very good result for us in this first round. So that's pretty much it for episode 1. If you've enjoyed this, leave a like. So yeah, make sure you do leave a like on this, because it will really help this series out. And I'll see you next time. We'll be making our second wildcard appearance. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.